Sophie Cunningham has been hit with a double fine after her physical play against Caitlin Clark. And now the controversy is exploding. The first fine? For unsportsmanlike contact that knocked Clark to the ground. The second? For escalating the situation later in the game. But for many fans, 2 small fines aren't enough.
Sophie Cunningham showed that she is, the old Caitlin Clark enforcer. She is the Caitlin Clark enforcer. That has been shown. She is the enforcer that the Fever have needed for the last year. And she has responded. They're calling it targeted aggression, claiming the league continues to fail in protecting its most talked-about rookie. Meanwhile, others defend Cunningham, saying it's just part of the game. But this isn't just about one foul anymore. It's about the growing tension around Caitlin Clark, the divide in the league, and whether the WNBA is losing control of its own narrative.
WNBA Fight Night, or as some people are saying, WNBA Raw. What a game that was. We had it all. We had basketball, we had fighting, we had blonde on blonde crime. Oh, such an epic. Oh, goodness. But at the end of the day, it resulted in an Indiana Fever W. 88-71, taking care of business.
A league scrambling to keep its image intact. A hard foul, 2 fines, and a controversy that's boiling over. What looked like another overly physical play has now sparked one of the most heated debates of the WNBA season. Caitlin Clark cuts through the defense, eyes on the rim, defenders trailing. Then, a shoulder, a bump, a hit with force. She crashes to the hardwood. No flagrant, no stoppage. The whistle stays silent. But that silence? It speaks volumes.
Sophie Cunningham sent a clear message to J.C. Sheldon last night. Of course, with the foul at the very end of the game. By the way, all of a sudden the refs were all about ejecting people out of games at that point. Much too late. It was a total officiating failure again. God, if it's not a physical incident, it's an officiating failure we're talking about. And frankly,
the tension isn't just physical anymore. It's emotional, it's intentional, and at this point, it's personal. These aren't just hard fouls in the flow of the game. They carry attitude, they carry energy, and they carry a message. The league had a chance to send one of its own to show players and fans that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated. But instead, it responded with silence wrapped in formality. 2 fines. 1 for unsportsmanlike contact, 1 for escalating the situation. A combined $1,500. A slap on the wrist, especially in a league that's fighting to prove it can protect its stars and build a credible product. No ejection, no suspension, no public statement, no transparency, just a short, quiet press release buried in the league's news feed. No cameras, no commissioner, no accountability, as if that would make it all go away. But it didn't. If anything, it made it worse, because it confirmed what many already feared.
Natalie Esquire, no place in the game for what Sophie Cunningham did. That warrants further review and penalty from the league. Penalty from the league, huh? Penalty from the league, huh, Natalie Esquire? Penalty from the league when Marina Marbury assaulted Caitlin Clark. Krista said, oh, I get so sweet when Caitlin Clark getting blindsided. Who, mind you, should be ejected, but Sophie gives JC a hard foul and no place in the game for that. Sophie Cunningham did. You ever get tired of talking out your this league is full of nothing, man. I'm telling you guys, this league, bro.
The backlash hit fast, and it hit hard, because this isn't just about one foul. It's about a pattern that's been building, one hit at a time, a pattern that's no longer subtle. It's disturbing. It's uncomfortable, and fans, analysts, and even former players are all starting to call it what it is. This isn't just physical basketball. It's a recurring trend of targeted, deliberate contact aimed at one player over and over again. Caitlin Clark isn't ending up on the floor because she's attacking the rim in transition or getting caught in a tough screen. No, she's hitting the hardwood because defenders are choosing to make her the message. These hits are calculated. They're emotional. They cross the invisible line between competition and control, between playing tough and playing to intimidate. And while some still try to brush it off as rookie hazing, more and more people are starting to see it for what it really is. An unspoken effort to knock Clark down, not just physically, but symbolically, to remind her that talent, attention, and popularity come with a price in this league. And right now, she's paying it alone.
Nah. Enough's enough, bruh. Enough is enough, bruh. What is going on? WNBA, y'all need to get this under control. This is ridiculous. Marina Mabry, you just put yourself in the Dejanay Carrington box. You dirty slime ball player, you come and blindside Caitlin Clark. Marina Mabry assaulted and tried to fight Caitlin Clark today. This is ridiculous. WNBA, Kathy Engelberg, do something. Do y'all want to go back to 55 to 60% of the people not watching shit again? I normally don't cuss in my blogs, but forget that. This was bullshit.
It's that she keeps getting up while everyone else pretends nothing happened. A shoulder to the ribs, a forearm to the back, a blindside shove that sends her to the floor. And what follows is almost always the same. A smirk from the defender, a shrug to the ref, and a league that acts like it's just business as usual. But it's not. Because when it's always one player taking the brunt of these shots, when that player happens to be the face plastered across every highlight reel and promo campaign, and when the league's response is a delayed fine with no real teeth, it stops being about physicality. It stops being about basketball. It becomes something bigger. It becomes a message. Not just to Clark, but to every player watching, every fan tuning in, and every young girl hoping to one day play this game. The message is this: we'll use you to grow the brand, but don't expect us to protect you when the hits come. And that's where things get dangerous. Because you can't build a future while tearing down its foundation. You can't claim growth while turning your back on fairness. And you can't celebrate a new era while allowing old grudges to dictate who gets punished and who gets ignored. When the league treats these moments like isolated incidents, fans see a pattern. When they respond with quiet fines instead of bold action, players see a hierarchy. And when Caitlin Clark keeps getting knocked down with no real consequences for the ones doing the knocking, what should be a basketball game starts looking like a warning.
Of course, Marina Mabry is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on JC Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabry, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
The WNBA didn't suspend Sophie Cunningham. There was no flagrant called during the game, no ejection, and not a single official stepped up to publicly explain the decision. Instead, the league quietly issued 2 separate fines after the fact, $1,000 for the hit, $500 for escalation, without a press conference, without addressing the growing outrage, and without offering any transparency. To the WNBA, it may have looked like standard discipline, but to the fans, it reeked of weak leadership and backdoor damage control. The incident blew up online within minutes. Social media turned into a battlefield. Some accused veterans of bullying Caitlin Clark. Others claimed she was being gatekept for bringing too much attention too fast. But nearly everyone agreed this wasn't just another foul. This was part of a pattern. The league's inconsistent handling of Clark's repeated hard hits is becoming impossible to ignore. Media outlets from ESPN to independent sports pods dragged the WNBA for allowing this kind of physical targeting to continue unchecked. What should have been a routine foul became a headline, a national debate, and a PR disaster. And the longer the league stays quiet, the louder the backlash gets. Because if this is how they treat their biggest draw, fans are starting to wonder what exactly the WNBA is trying to protect, its players or its old ways. The WNBA is growing, fast. Arenas that once had empty seats are now packed with fans. Ratings are shattering records. National networks are airing more games than ever before. And yes, a huge part of that growth is tied to the arrival of fresh talent, new personalities, and one very polarizing rookie in Caitlin Clark. But here's the problem. With that spotlight comes scrutiny. And every time the league lets another hit slide, every time a hard foul goes without a flagrant, every time a fine replaces real accountability, it chips away at the trust fans are starting to build. This isn't about making the game softer. It's about making the game smarter. It's about recognizing that physicality and respect can exist together, that enforcing the rules doesn't mean watering down the product. It means protecting the integrity of it. Because let's be honest, what's happening to Caitlin Clark on the court isn't just about defense. It's layered, it's symbolic, it's a clash between eras. You have veterans, some of whom never got the media attention, the NIL deals, the fanfare trying to send a message. And you have a new generation stepping in with confidence, endorsements, and massive fan bases, refusing to be humbled into silence. The league is now at a crossroads. Keep dismissing these hits as just part of the game, and risk alienating a new wave of fans. Or step up, take control of the narrative and show that the WNBA is ready to evolve with its stars, not punish them for arriving too fast, too famous, or too loud. Because whether you're a fan of Caitlin Clark or not, whether you think she deserves the hype or not, there's no denying this. The way she's being treated on the court is no longer just a player issue. It's a league issue. It's a culture issue. And it's the story the world is now watching. The double fine to Sophie Cunningham, that's not justice, that's a bandage. A temporary fix on a much deeper wound, one that cuts through the heart of the WNBA. Because this isn't just about one foul. This is about a league torn between two worlds. The old guard protecting what was, and the new wave demanding space for what's next. It's the battle between gatekeeping and growth, between earning it and simply deserving protection, between what's considered tough play and what's just flat-out dirty. The league says it wants to grow, to expand, to welcome millions of new fans. But if it keeps sending mixed messages, if it keeps letting moments like this slide with minimal consequences, those same fans might not stick around. So now the question's on you. Was the fine enough? Or is this the warning sign the WNBA can't afford to ignore?